Imagine you are surrounded by seemingly benevolent people, but beneath the surface, some of them are hiding envy and resentment. Carl Gustav Jung, one of the most important thinkers in depth psychology, recognized that our shadow, that hidden part of ourselves, often reveals itself in our closest relationships. Have you ever felt a strange discomfort in the presence of a person, even though their words sounded friendly? Take this feeling seriously. Could be a sign that something is wrong. In this video, you will learn 8 subtle signs that someone close to you harbors secret resentment or even hatred toward you without showing it openly. These signs are not obvious. They are hidden in nuances, in casual gestures, and in the unspoken undertones of a conversation. The last sign, in particular, could change your view of those around you forever. Join us as we dive into the depths of the human psyche and watch masks fall, even when they are carefully maintained. The concept of projection may already be affecting your own life without you realizing it. Every detail in this video could contain a realization you have overlooked until now. First sign, hidden contempt behind irony. Jung discovered that people particularly reject those qualities in others that they cannot accept in themselves. Contempt often disguises itself as irony. Perhaps, someone who constantly makes jokes or drops seemingly harmless remarks that leave a bitter aftertaste. Such comments are easily dismissed as jokes, but in reality they can be an expression of underlying resentment. Jung's principle of projection is at work here. Those who cannot cope with their own inner conflicts transfer their insecurities and frustrations onto others. Irony can be used as a subtle weapon in this context. It doesn't sound directly hostile, but it still leaves an unpleasant feeling. Pay attention to patterns. An occasional joke is harmless, but if a person never compliments you without adding a snide remark, it's worth paying attention. Jung emphasized that the unconscious cannot lie. True intentions are reflected in behavior. Ask yourself whether these remarks are characterized by sincere affection or aimed at making you feel small. If you repeatedly accept such attacks, you will be worn down in the long run. An open conversation about this behavior can be crucial to protect yourself from it. 2 signs of subtle sabotage. Jung recognized that unconscious dynamics shape our relationships. Hostility does not always manifest itself in open conflicts. Sometimes it shows itself in small acts of sabotage. You might have shared your goals or future plans with someone, only to notice that things start to go unexpectedly wrong. Small setbacks, broken promises, or misleading advice may seem minor or accidental at first, but when such patterns repeat, they often hint at something deeper. Carl Jung suggested that people tend to project their unresolved inner struggles onto the external world. Those who interfere with others often reveal their own dissatisfaction. Seeing someone else succeed or find happiness can make them uncomfortable. It serves as a mirror reflecting what they themselves have not yet accomplished. This type of sabotage is rarely obvious, but it always leaves an uneasy feeling or doubt. Stay alert and trust your intuition. If you feel that someone is deliberately or unconsciously holding you back. For Jung, the way out of such destructive dynamics begins with the conscious awareness of their existence. Those who recognize them can free themselves from negative influences and protect their energy and goals. 3rd sign, lack of genuine support at crucial moments. Carl Jung emphasized that true relationships are based on reciprocity and genuine presence, especially at key moments in life. However, there are people who are physically present but show distance precisely when you need them most, whether in times of great success or deep crisis. This person may react indifferently, divert the conversation to another topic, or offer only superficial comfort. It is as if your moment of joy or sadness is meaningless to them. Jung described this behavior as dissociation from the self. People who struggle with their own shadow sides often find it difficult to be genuinely happy for others or to be there for them in difficult times. Instead, they hide their inner distance behind excuses such as lack of time, tiredness, or forgetfulness. But in the long run, this pattern becomes apparent. Pay attention to how someone reacts when you share something important with them. Does the person shut you down or immediately change the subject? Jung reminded us that we should strive for relationships that strengthen us, not those that discourage us. If someone repeatedly downplays your successes or worries, it is worth reflecting on how this affects your well-being. Only those who are aware of this dynamic can protect their energy and build relationships, characterized by mutual appreciation. Fourth sign, secret. Silent world conflict. Jung recognized that covert competitive pressure can arise when people unconsciously project those repressed aspects of themselves onto others. This competition is rarely obvious. Instead, it manifests itself in small, barely perceptible gestures that are nevertheless marked by rivalry. For example, when you talk about a success, this person may feel compelled to immediately highlight their own achievement or downplay your performance. It is not about attacking them directly, but to overshadow their recognition with your own. This behavior often stems from unconscious envy. Instead of acknowledging the success of others, the person draws attention to themselves and uses every opportunity to show off. The pattern often manifests itself in casual corrections, petty comparisons, or subtle belittling of their achievements. Pay attention to whether you constantly feel measured or challenged in the presence of this person. According to Jung, personal growth lies in recognizing such projections and becoming aware of how they influence your own life. Those who see through this behavior should ask themselves whether it is worth continuing to invest energy in such a relationship, or whether it would be better to distance themselves from it. Fifth sign, ZTE representations and malicious rumors. Jung pointed out that the human psyche often uses defense mechanisms to protect itself. A common example of this behavior is the spreading of rumors or distorted portrayals of others. People who struggle with their own insecurities or frustrations often project these issues outward by sharing misleading information or making subtle, critical remarks. This kind of manipulation is often used to protect or boost one's self-esteem by putting others down. The individual may feel the need to damage someone else's image in order to feel more secure about themselves. These comments are rarely direct insults. They often carry a sarcastic or mocking tone designed to create doubt or suspicion in others. It's a red flag if mutual acquaintances suddenly change their attitude toward you, or if you're unexpectedly faced with false claims. Such actions are often rooted in the unresolved inner conflict of the person spreading them, but even if the issue originates with someone else, ignoring it can still have a negative impact on your life. A conscious approach to such situations, including clear communication and setting boundaries, is crucial to maintaining your emotional balance. Sixth sign, inability to acknowledge their successes or rejoice in them. According to Jung, suppressed feelings such as envy or resentment often manifest themselves in someone's inability to feel genuine joy at the successes of others. Instead of sincerely congratulating them, the reaction of such a person remains distant or even condescending. Their achievements are downplayed, relativized, or even ignored. In moments that should be full of joy, an unpleasant vacuum arises, as if their successes were meaningless. This behavior indicates a deeper inner conflict. Jung explained that we often project onto others what we cannot accept in ourselves. Those who do not want to confront their own fears or insecurities react with indifference or resentment towards the success of others. Pay attention to recurring patterns and ask yourself whether this person really has your best interests at heart. True friends and supporters show themselves when there is something to celebrate, not only in difficult times. People who are in conflict with themselves often find it painful when others achieve what they themselves have denied themselves. Perhaps this person consistently avoids the topic or diverts the conversation to their own problems, as if your success were a threat to them. Do you notice that you repeatedly encounter cool or indifferent reactions when you share happy news? Then you have the sixth sign. Jung emphasized that such behavior says more about the person in question than about your own worth. Protect your emotional balance by realizing that you don't need external validation to be proud of yourself. Instead, surround yourself with people who are genuinely happy for you. Seventh signs of reacting to your vulnerability. Jung recognized that the way a person deals with the weakness, pain, or limitations of others reveals a lot about their emotional state. A person who harbors deep resentment or underlying hatred may take advantage of your moments of vulnerability to feel superior. Instead of showing compassion or offering support, they remain cold and dismissive or even make you feel like you are to blame. This behavior stems from their own shadow, because those who cannot accept their own weakness devalue it in others. Sometimes this attitude manifests itself in the form of impatience or even anger when they suffer. Their problems are perceived as an imposition, rather than something that requires a genuine connection. Pay attention to how someone reacts when you are sick or need emotional support. Is your distress downplayed or devalued? Jung emphasized that mutual compassion is a fundamental characteristic of healthy relationships. If it is lacking, the connection is permeated by negative energies. Pay attention to maintaining your emotional well-being and surround yourself with people who are genuinely interested in your well-being. Watch for signs of attempts to control or manipulate your decisions. According to Jung, a strong need to influence the actions of others is often an expression of inner imbalance. People who struggle with themselves often compensate by trying to gain control over others. This rarely happens openly. Instead, it appears as supposed care in the form of well-meaning advice or supposedly clever hints that are actually aimed at steering you in a certain direction. Jung emphasized that the human psyche often senses these subtle imbalances even when we can't immediately explain them. You might start noticing that your choices are frequently challenged or met with disapproval. Over time, this can lead you to question your own instincts or feel pressured to align with that person's views and expectations. A dynamic develops in which you feel increasingly dependent, as if you can only move forward thanks to their advice. But in reality, your self-determination is being insidiously undermined. Ask yourself, are you really making your own decisions? Or are you allowing yourself to be unconsciously influenced? Jung emphasized that true personal development is only possible when we free ourselves from such manipulative influences, recognizing and breaking these mechanisms is the key to gaining emotional freedom and leading a life shaped by our own values, not by the shadows of others. In this video, we have highlighted how hidden aspects of the human psyche reveal themselves in close relationships, exposing resentment and subliminal messages that we often overlook. For Jung, recognizing these patterns was not only a way to expose toxic dynamics, but also a step towards self-awareness. It's not just about recognizing difficult people in our environment, but also about understanding how the emotional currents around us influence our own growth. Being young and aware of these unconscious mechanisms gives us a chance to free ourselves from burdensome attachments and create space for genuine, sincere connections. Every person carries a shadow within them, but healthy relationships arise when we learn to integrate it consciously and reflectively. If you sense that someone in your environment is spreading negativity, you have two options: confrontation or letting go. Jung said, what you don't do consciously appears to you as fate. So be alert to these signs and protect your emotional balance by cultivating relationships based on respect and genuine mutual understanding. If this video has opened up new perspectives for you or helped you to view your relationships differently, subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. Here you will find more in-depth reflections and content to help you better understand yourself and your environment. Share this video with someone who could benefit from it, and activate the bell so you don't miss any new content. Remember, the path to fulfilling relationships and a balanced life starts right now.